So sorry, I don't know if you can hear me now. This is the rear bedroom, rear cabin. It's got a kind of double bed, permanently made up double bed with a foam mattress and a central heating radiator and a load of storage underneath. Excuse me. Oh, if I come in, it's hard to photograph a boat. Turn around. That's obviously the throttle control that goes through. Space for a fire extinguisher. Each of these steps actually lifts up the storage underneath, and he says there's always a surprise in some of them. Various tools and sanding discs and angle grinders and things like that. There we go. That was a bit stiff. And in there's an angle grinder and loads of abrasive discs and things like that. Again, storage either side. Sort of wood-lined sides. Radiator. There's a door. The next room is the engine room. No water at all under here. Nothing under the floor or anything like that. Or in the bilge. There's the funnel here for the exhaust that I just showed you the tin can on. Storage, battery charger there. Underneath the toolbox here that's where the two engine batteries are. I normally just disconnect one when I'm not here, just to make sure it's not laying. In actual fact, I haven't been here in probably 18 months and connected it, and the engine started really easily, so that's good. They go down quite deep, you can't see from here, but again, no water down there. They're a lot deeper than they look. That's the master switch for the battery isolation for the engine batteries. They're separate from the leisure batteries. This is the engine. Excuse me, I'll take that off. Gardner 2L2 engine. It's adapted to have electric start. It's water cooled, and it's also got hydraulic drive. No leaks again. All in good order. That's the driftgate split charge controller. It's for when the engine's running. Charge the batteries. That's a coolant header tank. This is your day tank. There's the on-off valve there for that. Runs through a filter into the engine, obviously. You don't have to flip any of the decompression levers to start it. It just starts as it is. The brass oil pressure gauge, the fuel pump, all that sort of stuff. Back here at the end of the engine is where the hydraulic drive is. Some pretty hefty pipe work back there. I don't know if you can see it. That's not small. There we go. Nature of the beast. Obviously a lined exhaust that goes straight up. I believe that there is the I don't know, I think it's the hydraulic oil store. As I said, my father built the boat. I'm not familiar with everything in it. I'm just learning as I go along, as it were. Got a little engine hour counter and RPM gauge. That's that thing there tells you how much charge is coming out of the alternator, and that's engine temperature gauge. That's just at the moment this wire here. This just goes onto this part of the engine, which is actually the coolant pipe there. Which gives you a reading from that. And you've got a couple of shelves here, some lights built in. You've got a really old but loud klaxon horn. I'll show you the rear driver thing, but up under the bed here, plenty of storage again, loads of tins of paint, wires. You can see the hydraulic drive going through here. My dad, I think, originally had a prop shaft, but he didn't like it, so he took all that out and put the hydraulic drive in, because it gives him a lot more flexibility. The hydraulic drive also actually drives the front bow thruster, so it's operated left and right there. That's really easy, and it's quite useful when you're backing up and stuff. Lots of bits and pieces. I'll show you under where the propeller is in a bit. Excuse the mess, but it's the nature of what it is. There we go. That's the by the way, that thing there, that's an electric pump to top up the day tank, and when it overflows it drips into a little tank here, so you know when it's full. And obviously the engine's gravity fed. Through here, the next room is the bathroom. Again, I apologise for the mess. We've got obviously mosaic tiled walls, LED floodlights or spotlights, another porthole, radiator, nice and warm. Actually, I've been running the heating this morning just to see how that goes. Mirror, it's got a light in there, another light there. Cupboards, again you can see some signs of some obviously mould and stuff, I believe that would be. with all the venting for the toilet. There's actually a tank level system that's not been installed. Again, under here we've got a under sink cupboard, and it's a ceramic sink just like you have in the house with a stainless steel backsplash. Again, no leaks there or anything. This porta potty is temporary. You've got a proper electric flush tank here. I believe that's a hardwood. I can't remember the name of the wood thing. That's the shower tray, full size, proper solid, not plastic. I don't know what it is, but it's not cheap plastic. It doesn't move. Proper mixer tap, shower there. This gives you actually a really powerful shower. I don't know how he's done it, but the water pressure in the boat is pretty big. And this is the switch here for the pump, because obviously this is below the water line, so you have to pump the water out. So you turn that switch on and it pumps it out. Under here, little hatch. That's where the filter, that thing in the middle there. Put my foot on it. That's the filter for the water extraction. That's the pump there. Pretty big thing. Gives you the pump out. And I'm struggling to think what everything else is here, to be honest with you. Somebody else would know probably better than I, but I believe that switch there, the back with the red wire above it. If I zoom in on that, I think that's something to do with the pump, the diesel fuel delivery, with a shut off pump, obviously, or valve. So if something happens, it just shuts the pump off. I believe this step here, I don't know if you can see it, I believe that's where the fuel tank is. That certainly correlates to where the fill is. The fill is just outside on the gunnel, and I believe it's a full width fuel tank of about 45 plus gallons. And again, it's full up with fuel, kept it full so that you don't get any of the bacterial growth or condensation or anything like that. See a few little bits, again, carpentry that need finishing off. Generally the hard work's been done. Moving through the next door is the kitchen. Step through, obviously over the tank. Space here, there's another radiator, central heating hot water radiator. It's a granite kitchen that was hand built, strange enough, by a guy that ran a company that built obviously high-end kitchens, so it did a good job. Stainless steel inset sink, tap, obviously mixer tap. This water filter tap. The cupboards are all actually handmade out of wood, so they're painted this green colour at the moment, but the colour could be changed. You've got spaces for, cutlery and stuff, pots and pans, the usual stuff. Vents in the roof quite frequently. Spotlights, LED, low wattage thing, 12 volt, or it could be 24 volt actually. This boat's on 24 volt electrics. Cigarette lighter, sort of power outlet. On this side, it's quite difficult to get it all in focus, but it's a wine rack. That microwave I've just put there extra. We don't actually need it. This Neff is an inbuilt oven and microwave all in one, with a Smeg, all 240 volts, ceramic hob above. This is what I mentioned in the advert, the escape hatch. I don't think you can get out of this, to be honest with you. You have to be pretty thin. Good to have the thing there. If you're cooking, you can open it up, and obviously it takes the fumes away. But trying to line that out, we've really struggled. I don't know how to do that. And I employed a guy to have a go a few years ago, and he obviously took it apart. So it wasn't looking like that before, but that obviously needs some thought and work, and obviously better securing down as well. That could be a better job made of that. All of these things with the white thing, that's actually stainless steel. That's just the protective covering. So whatever you call that, splashback or something, but they go all the way around. Just peel that off when you're ready to use it. Again here, under this is a 240 volt fridge with a freezer compartment, and the light's not turned on at the moment. Another cupboard here above. It's quite a lot of storage space really. Drawers, as you can see, or soft clothes, whatever you want to call it, quite nice. Little cupboard under here. You have to pull it down. That needs a little bit of work. It's securing again. Another cupboard there with an old radio. Excuse me. This is one of these funny things that pulls out and then spins round to reveal all the, to go right into the corner there. So it's quite a neat thing. I've put some stuff in there. Duvet, which probably shouldn't be in there, but again, all nice and dry. No signs of any water or damp or anything like that. Of course, So I can't close it because the duvet's got caught. Probably not the best place to store a duvet. I'll come back to that. Again, walking through into the lounge, the floor, it's got carpet tiles on it at the moment, and each one obviously you can lift up, and occasionally there's a place that you can look in. No sort of water to be found. That's just some stuff that I've got stored on the boat. This is the main lounge area. A couple of windows, one either side. Obviously, this here, let me turn around. That thing you've got. I've just propped this up with this. Excuse me. As the door opens. Got a marine calorifier in there with I believe it's a 3 kilowatt immersion heater, and it's also heated off the hot water system as well. So you've got the choice of how to heat the thing. This whole cupboard has it's not been fitted, or it's not while I've been around. This sort of door here fits onto here. And the idea is it folds down if you want some extra worktop space, or etc. etc. Again, it would be fairly easy to refit it. You know, the hinges are all on the bottom of that. This thing here covered up with a cloth conveniently. It's quite a nice sofa bed. And include all these things in this house. Excuse me for the dust. But they're 2 individual seats that each make one bed, and they're pretty comfortable. They're in good condition. Larger radiator here in the lounge. Little bit of signs of some damp coming in from the window, I believe. From this window, the corner there is darker, showing obviously it's probably got a bit of a week when the rain comes in. That's a TV point. There's an outside aerial. It's all the aerials out in the front deck. But sort of stick that into a place in the roof, and it's all wired through with a booster thing. Fire, little made locally, Housestead in Essex, D Portman and Son, Portway and Son. A little fire, with the tile backdrop, flue going straight up. Again, the white plastic is excuse me. It's just stainless steel covering. Moving back here, I've taken that panel off actually just to show you in here. The electrics in the boat, this side is 240 volts. You've got an AC master breaker with various outlets. That shows you the power. You press the buttons to see how much, what do we call it, amps you're drawing, all that sort of stuff. On the right hand side is all the 24 volt electrics. That's a charge controller for the solar panel. And various things off to different systems, as it were. This is your battery control. It's which battery, the 2 banks of leisure batteries. At the moment I've got 1 and 2 connected. That I believe the 2 points here for meter for testing various things, and these 3 switches is something to do with the solar panels and which circuit they charge. That's all documented in my dad's write-up, but apparently the batteries can't see each other, so there's a way of isolating each one so that the charging from the solar panel can work. 2 little cupboards either side. Again, various bits and bobs in there. There's a DeWalt cordless drill and charger. What you can see there, I'll show you in a minute, that's the pure sine wave 3 kilowatt inverter. Excuse me. And on this side, just a normal cupboard. Quite deep, quite a lot of storage. Under here as well, on the step to go out, there's another cupboard or storage space with various. There's a mega pulse or something in there, and some meters. There's all sorts of bits and bobs. Dad was obviously working on the boat, so he stored a lot of the stuff on here. That's a pressure vessel. There is quite a powerful pump for the water system. Your inverters there, I don't know if you can see, some pretty hefty cabling going on there, and heat sinks, things like that. All the wiring is all in conduit and things like that. At the back there, that's the water storage tank under the front deck, with obviously some pretty large bore pipe work. Again, all bone dry, as you can see, with shut-off valves and things like that. There's another one of these, actually, these red pressure vessels in the bathroom, which I'll show you in a minute. Sorry, I forgot to show you that. The front deck, unfortunately, is a bit untidy. That's where we put all the bits and bobs that my dad was working on. So there's loads of bits of wood. Whether you want these or not, it's up to you. But there's strips of sort of mahogany and stuff, and various bits of wood now. The way that the front wall deck works is obviously the hookup goes there. The cratch cover is unfortunately in need of replacement. As you can see, it's got old and shrunk, but the rigging for it, or whatever you call it, the structure for it, is all stainless steel tubing, and in quite good nick. The front windows obviously got broken, unfortunately, and I've got to re-secure the cracked cover. Unfortunately, it's come undone, and I've got to go outside to do that. Under the front there, that's where the hydraulics are and the pump for the bow thruster, and obviously all that stuff there is probably an extra bit of ballast. And in here, sorry, I should have prepared this a little bit better, I've been moving things around. Under here, let me just move this thing, excuse me. Well, the battery banks either side, 2 big batteries either side, one this side, one that side, and these pieces would obviously go over the top, so you can sit on it while you're out. That's where you hook the TV aerial up, either there or there. There's two places to plug it in to get it through. The Webasto or Weberspac or whatever it's called, you know, the diesel powered fuel heating system is there, and that works very well. I fired that up again today. It just starts, just runs, and again, various compartments that you can store things in as you need, and obviously these bits fit on top. I need to get around to putting the back. Excuse me. So that's the boat. As you can see, the front well deck, you've got your freshwater tank fill. Slight little bit of damp in here that I found, obviously because the crash cover's all come loose. It's been a bit rainy, but I've sort of looked in the front there where the, what do you call it, the bow thruster is with an endoscope. There's no water in there. There's no water under this deck, luckily, which is good. It's all bone dry, so it's just confined to just rain coming into here through these gaps and stuff, unfortunately, which I need to fix. So there we go. Let me go and show you. Sorry if this video is a bit too long. I'm just trying to, it's very hard to photograph a boat. That's the control for the heating system. Going back through here, again, you've got downlighters all over the place and stainless steel plugs, plenty of those. As I mentioned here, in here is where another pressure vessel is, and a load of sort of electrics and stuff with a gauge for the pressure. That's all in, you know, good nick. Looks just, you know, it hasn't really been used. It's just a little bit dusty. So it's all good there. What I do now is I do a separate video on how to start the engine and the engine running, if that's okay. And thank you for looking. I hope this video was useful.